Buffalo, New York, and she is secretly reading her father's World War II journal. So it's side-by-side journals, and so I think you'll understand.
Nice.
And she's gotten a small part in Bye Bye Birdie. Okay. Monday, I know, right? February 9th, 1970. Rehearsals for Bye Bye Birdie take place every day after school, and I love them. This play is about a teen idol who comes to do a special performance in a very small town. I play the wife of the mayor of that very small town. I don't have any actual lines, but I do have a pivotal role. Here's why. I am standing by the mayor's side as Conrad Birdie, the teen idol, begins to sing in the town square. I go crazy for him. I start screaming and fainting, and pretty soon the entire town is screaming and fainting for him. So you see, I'm quite the trendsetter. Plus, I get to sing and dance in all the town scenes, and I get to be a part of it all, which is just the best. Then there's our director, Miss Gallistorfer. How do I describe her? She's about 50 years old, and she wears love beads and miniskirts, and she likes to do very dramatically acting out everyone's part so we know what to do. She is a hoot. For example, Miss Gallistorfer showed me how the mayor's wife begins her big scene in a prim and proper manner. She does not want to swoon over Conrad Birdie. She thinks the whole thing is very silly. Then she gets a look at him, sort of like Lois and Mr. Helfenstein. That's my best friend who has a crush on her social studies teacher. And she goes into conniptions. Miss Gallistorfer showed me some stage business I can do, like fainting, fanning myself and putting my hand up to my forehead and fainting into the mayor's arms. When she acted out the part, Dominic Flunt got hit in the face with her love beads. It was pretty funny. Being the mayor's wife is going to be really neat, after all. Dominic plays the mayor. He is a very nice boy. The problem is that he has a crush on me. I'm not saying that to be conceited. He really does. I can tell. He just enjoys portraying my husband just a little too much. But we are not married, and this is just, after all, a play. At least that's what I keep telling myself every time I have to look over and see Clayton Murray as Hugo Peabody acting out his scenes with Gretchen Alder as Kim McAfee. There, I said it. Yes, they play boyfriend and girlfriend in this musical. Can you believe it? Now, I know that Clayton is a sensible boy, and I know that Gretchen is an idiotic girl. So naturally, I am assuming that sensible Clayton has no interest in idiotic Gretchen. The problem is that Gretchen is also sort of, well, beautiful. As much as it hurts me to write that, and sometimes I see the way he looks at her, she's gorgeous, she's popular, she's a cheerleader. And they have songs together and lovey-dovey scenes together, and it's pretty clear to me that he is enjoying them. She's mean, she's nasty, she's stupid, she has no redeeming qualities. Therefore, I can see with my very own eyes what it means to be pretty, and it is extremely discouraging. Attention all grown-ups who have ever said, it's what's inside that counts. You really need to see the way Clayton Murray looks at Gretchen Alder. After rehearsal, I usually meet up with Lois when we walk home. Lois, by now, in case you haven't guessed from my earlier snide remark, is completely in love with Mr. Helfenstein. Yes, she knows that he is a 31-year-old married man. Lois's plan is to grow up and become his second wife. Could you barf? So today, we were walking and talking, and I'm really not sure what came over me, but all of a sudden, while Lois was taking a breath, in between sentences about Mr. Helfenstein, I just blurted out, I like Clayton Murray. Do you know what she said? She said, I know. He likes you too. I gasped. My heart was fluttering around in my chest, and then Lois said, and he also likes Gretchen Alder. Honestly, it took a moment for those words to sink into my head, but when they did, I had to stop walking. I looked at Lois and I said, what do you mean? She shrugged. I guess he likes both of you. How do you know all this, and why didn't you tell me any of it sooner? Well, first of all, you never told me that you liked him, so I didn't think you wanted to talk about it. And secondly, during assembly, I heard him talking to Dominic Flunt. Dominic was telling Clayton that he likes you, but he thinks that you like Clayton, and that's when Clayton said he likes you too, but he also likes Gretchen, because she's pretty. Oh. Well, now I was feeling dizzy and I had to sit down on the curb. Are you okay, Lois asked? I don't know. Usually when people ask if you're okay, you just say yes, even if you have a stubbed toe or a skinned knee, but this time I really was not okay. I asked Lois to walk home without me. She didn't want to leave me alone, but she did finally. I sat there for another hour or so, maybe longer. November 23rd, 1944, Thursday. This is my dad's journal. Today is Thanksgiving, and we had a swell turkey dinner. I guess I have a lot to be thankful for. I can't help but think about home, though. Everything back there seems like a dream. I guess I'll be the most happy and contented man in the world when I get back home. Monday, February 9th, 1970, continued. How can I possibly feel so horrible about my life when I am home on my own bed, in my own room, in our warm house? There are no bombs falling on me. I am not sleeping in the snow. Nobody is trying to kill me. I am safe and healthy, but I just can't help it. I feel awful, which really makes me a truly rotten person who doesn't appreciate the good things that I have. That's why I need to put this pen down. I'm starting to cry. Wow, just now while I was busy sobbing, Annie, her sister, pounded on my door. Stuck her head in and asked, "Why are you crying?" Annie likes to get right to the point. I slipped Dad's journal under my pillow and wiped my nose. "I just am," I said. "You're going to have to do a better job than that or I can't help you." "Okay, but if I tell you this, it's top secret." Annie crossed her heart. "I like a boy." "Yeah? Who likes me but also likes another girl who's really pretty." Annie absorbed all this for a second and then she said, "Look, I hate to break it to you, but you are only 12. This is nothing compared to what's coming." No, Annie! Woo! I took a quick breath that sounded more like a gasp, but Annie kept talking. "He's going to like a lot of girls, you're going to like a lot of boys, and on it will go for a while until everybody's married." Or in the case of Vicki, married and then divorced. "So you may as well stop crying, pick yourself up, and get started." With that, Annie turned and left the room. And I did stop crying, but mostly because now I'm more scared than sad. December 3rd, 1944, Sunday. What a day. The Germans finally broke out. 90 planes came over and we opened up for dear life. They came over at very low altitude and tried to bomb the bridge, but missed. We knocked down 5 of them. In one, the pilot tried to bail out, but his chute didn't open. One of our boys got hit by a 50 in the shoulder, but he's okay. I was sitting on a gun pit with Frank the other day when a bigger shell than usual fell nearby and a piece of shrapnel bounced off Frank's helmet. He turned so white that I couldn't help but laugh. December 5th, 1944, Monday. We are in Belgium living in holes. It's very cold and we are all very frozen. It's hard to believe this is Christmas. I wonder every day if I'll ever be warm again. Monday, February 9th, 1970. I fell asleep with Dad's journal on top of me. Maybe I was trying to keep it warm. It's 11 p.m. and the TV is on in the den. I can hear John Wayne's voice in a bugle. I think the cavalry may be involved. I'm going in. Later, I walked into the den. My father looked at me. "What's up, sweetie?" he asked as he turned down the volume on the television. John Wayne was silently leading a beautiful woman across a desert on horseback. "Dad?" "Yes." "Do boys only like girls who are pretty?" My dad smiled to himself and shook his head. "I don't know. I've seen a lot of homely couples at the mall." He laughed a little, but when he saw the expression on my face, he became serious. "Who told you this?" "It's not what anyone told me, it's what I see." "Is there a boy you're thinking about?" "Whoa, danger, Laney Spurtle." The longer I paused, the more he knew that of course there was a boy involved. But that didn't mean that I had to tell him about it. I just looked at him and shrugged. My father nodded. He thought for a moment, and then this is what he said to me. He said, "I'm going to be very honest with you." "Okay," I braced myself for it. "Boys and men will always look at a pretty girl or a pretty lady, but," he was sorting through his head for the right way to put this. I was staring at a vase behind him that Annie had made at Camp White Pine. I was afraid he might never continue, but then he did. "Pretty women are like a flashing neon sign outside of a store. It makes you look. You may want to go into that store. So let's suppose you go in and you look around. If there is nothing inside that store but worthless junk, you won't stay very long, will you?" He relaxed, completely satisfied with the analogy. "I don't know," I said. "Some men stay, don't they?" I thought I had thrown him, but he said, "Yes, some men do stay, but I think they are men who don't have very much in their store either." Wow. That was good. I smiled at him, not just because what he had said to me was so reassuring, but because we both understood how smart and how true it was. And then he really topped himself. "And what the heck would make you think you're not pretty?" he said. "I'm not as pretty as Gretchen Alder." This seemed to really get under his skin. He reached for my hand and pulled me closer to him.